Episode 12. Asta and Seke chase after a thief floating on a cloud. Asta uses his sword to cut the spell, forcing the thief to flee on foot. In a desperate move, Seke rams his magic scooter into the thief. They discover the stolen bag belongs to an elderly woman who turns out to be the Wizard King in disguise. As for Yuno, Mimosa, and Klaus, they are serving as bodyguards for Salim on his journey to the Heart Kingdom. Salim apologizes to Yuno and suggests they visit Yuno's home village, but Klaus is suspicious of Salim's intentions. They pass by the Demon Skull on their way to the church, where Yuno is approached by a group of children, causing Klaus to feel unhappy. Episode 13. Yuno, Klaus, and Mimosa were having dinner with Sister Lily and Father Orsi at the church, when suddenly, Sister Lily was kidnapped by bandits. Yuno didn't follow orders to stay put and instead went after her. He was able to defeat the bandits and save Sister Lily. It turns out that Salim was the one who set up the kidnapping because he was upset that Yuno had beaten him during the exams. Thankfully, Klaus and Mimosa were there to help Yuno, and their heroic actions earned them a star from the Wizard King. Meanwhile, at the Black Bull base, Asta hears about the Golden Dawn star and vows to catch up to them. The Wizard King has been alerted of an anomaly and wants the Magic Knights to investigate it. Episode 14. Asta and the Black Bulls are trying to come up with a name for a bird when Yami Sukihiro arrives with news of a new dungeon. Asta, Noel Silva, and Luck Voltia are chosen to investigate the dungeon, which is located near the Diamond Kingdom. Inside the dungeon, Asta accidentally activates trap magic, and Luck purposely activates more for Asta to negate. Luck senses that someone else is in the dungeon and leaves to investigate, leaving Asta and Noel alone. Asta talks about becoming the Wizard King and tells Noel about Yuno. Noel charges ahead and gets caught in a trap, but Asta saves her. They are then saved by Yuno, who tells Asta he has repaid his debt. Episode 15. Alecdora Sandler asks Captain Vengeance why Yuno was sent to explore the dungeon, and Mimosa introduces herself as Noel's cousin. Klaus Lunetz questions Noel and Asta's ability to explore the dungeon and argues with Asta about their captains. Mimosa uses her magic to guide Yuno, Noel, and Asta through the dungeon, while Luck defeats Lotus's subordinates and faces off against Lotus himself. Lotus weakens Luck with his magic, but Luck gets a second wind and attacks Lotus with more lightning magic. The Golden Dawns arrive at two large doors, and Mimosa gets injured by a Diamond Kingdom mage. Episode 16. In a flashback, Yuno and Asta talk about their friendship. Luck Voltia's backstory is revealed. He was abused by his mother until he discovered his lightning magic, which he used to defeat a noble. In the present, Luck fights against Lotus Humwalt and gets caught in solid smoke. Klaus and Yuno face off against Diamond Mage Mars. Noel senses Luck's magic and races to the treasure chamber with Asta. Yuno saves Klaus and joins forces with him to fight Mars. Meanwhile, Asta helps Luck out of the smoke prison, and they defeat Lotus by working together. Yuno and Klaus continue to struggle against Mars. Episode 17. Asta, Noel Silva, and Luck Voltia chase Lotus Humwalt, but he escapes, leaving them to face off against Mars, the Diamond Kingdom mage. Klaus Lunetz notices that Mars's magic has been artificially amplified through magic mage stones embedded in his forehead. Yuno fights Mars, but his magic has no effect on him. Asta arrives and challenges Yuno to see who can bring Mars down first. Asta manages to hit Mars with his power that negates magic, while Luck destroys all of Mars's mineral clones. Mars returns with heavy armored Titan and crushes Asta. Asta tells him that he was born without power, but is determined to become the Wizard King, shattering the armor and defeating Mars. Episode 18. Afterward, the Golden Dawns and Black Bulls investigate the dungeon's treasures. Yuno finds a scroll with strange writing, which glows and disappears, while Asta discovers a lock on the wall he doesn't understand. Suddenly, Mars frees himself, and a battle ensues, trapping the other boys. Asta is knocked through a wall, but is rescued by Nero, who brings him a new sword. With the new sword, Asta returns to the fight and releases a blade of water that hits Mars and extinguishes the flames. However, Asta is hit in the stomach and collapses. Episode 19. Asta is injured, and Noel orders Mimosa to heal him. Meanwhile, Mars stands up and creates another Leviathan to attack Asta and Mimosa. Yuno manages to break free from his crystal restraints, but is unable to stop Mars's sword in time. Suddenly, time slows down, and a small girl blows a gust of wind, defeating Mars. Asta's new sword disappears into his grimoire, triggering the collapse of the dungeon. The Magic Knights escape on Yuno's heavenly wind arc, but Mars is buried under the collapsing ceiling. Lotus Humboldt escapes with Mars and the other Diamond Mages in his bustling lazy vehicle. Mars remembers his promise to Fauna as his memories return to him. Episode 20. After sleeping for a week following the battle against Mars, Asta and Noel head to the Magic Knight headquarters to report on what happened in the dungeon. They run into Yuno, Klaus Lunette, and Mimosa Vermilion, who reveals that she has a crush on Asta. At headquarters, they meet Julius Novachrono, the Wizard King, who asks Yuno to perform his magic from the dungeon. Asta shows Julius his new anti-magic sword, which absorbs magic. Julius invites them to a War Merits conferment ceremony, where he awards new ranks and medals to the Magic Knights. At a reception afterward, the other Magic Knights make fun of them, but Asta jumps on a table and declares his intention to become the Wizard King. Episode 21. Rades Spirito swears revenge on the Clover Kingdom for having kicked him out. Asta declares his ambition to become the Wizard King, but the other attendees mock him and attack him with magic. However, Asta uses his new sword to cut through their spells and is later confronted by Solid Silva. Yuno reaches for his grimoire, but Asta manages to summon his larger sword in time and cuts through the bindings. Nozel Silva interferes, and Fugolian Vermilion stops him from punishing Asta. A messenger arrives and tells them that the capital is under attack. Zombies terrorize the citizens, and the Magic Knights split into teams and head to different parts of the capital. Asta shows up and lunges at Rades, who had cornered a little girl. Episode 22. Asta fights off a group of zombies in the North District, while other Magic Knights battle zombies in various parts of the capital. Rades summons more zombies, including one named Number 4, Jimmy, who uses curse power against Asta and a little girl. Noel arrives to help, but initially freezes up, until Fugulian encourages her to focus and use her magic. Asta defeats Jimmy with a spinning attack, but Rades summons another zombie named Number 2, Alfred, which is surrounded by electricity. Yuno worries about Asta as he continues to fight. Episode 23. Nozel Silva is concerned about the weakening zombies, while King Augustus Kira Clover XIII wonders where Julius Novachrono is. Meanwhile, Asta struggles to fight Number 2, Alfred, and Noel Silva and Leopold Vermilion offer to help. Fugolian Vermilion intervenes and defeats Alfred, declaring Asta his rival in becoming the Wizard King. Rades Spirito, who seeks revenge for being expelled from the kingdom, summons another zombie, but Fugolian kills it and breaks through Radis' magical barrier. The zombies around the capital begin to fall, but a new mage waits above. Episode 24. Noel and Leopold defeat Radis' last zombie, while Fugolian binds Radis and confiscates his grimoire, only to find out that Radis can only perform one spell. Radis receives a message from a person through a magical device in his ear, revealing a plan for their master. The Magic Knights are cheered, but the ground swallows them up, transporting them outside the royal capital. Yuno intervenes when Catherine casts a spell to absorb mana, and they fight. Fugolian questions Radis, discovering that they are after him, and is transported to a white dimension. Yuno senses mana and summons Sylph to attack Catherine. Fugolian meets a recognized mage in the white dimension. Episode 25. Catherine bursts through the wall to steal mana, but Charmy Papitson thinks she wants her food and becomes defensive. She creates a giant sheep that punches Catherine and sends her flying out of the opening. Charmy vows to protect her food, and Catherine is captured by the authorities. Meanwhile, Yuno saves Charmy's food and faints from using too much mana. Leopold Vermilion asks Radis Spirito about Fugolian Vermilion's whereabouts, and Asta finds him hiding among the corpses. The mage brings back Fugolian's body, but Asta fights back, cutting through Radis' magic and punching him. Suddenly, new mages appear with curse magic, but Asta cuts himself to prevent bleeding and fights back, vowing to blast them all away, no matter how many come at him. And that wraps up today's video. Let us know in the comments which moment you like the best in these episodes. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more interesting anime content from us. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you at the next one.